Hey everyone, I am Justin, and that is Kyle, and we are the Fantasy Football Upside. All right, today, Kyle, we're doing our third mock draft of the season.
Woo woo.
Woo woo.
That was terrible. I don't know why I did that. I apologize.
It's okay. You don't need to apologize. If anybody's been watching these videos, they know. They know.
They know.
They know. They know.
First of all, that my apologies are not sincere. Not in the remotest bit.
Exactly. Yeah. And speaking of content, we have released a lot of great content this week.
We qualify that as great. We do.
Absolutely.
You know what, though? Hey, people are clicking that subscribe button. We appreciate that. We love it when you guys are doing that. It's great. It works. It's really, really good. We love when you comment. And actually, Jarrod King, he commented, and I wanted to give him a shout out. Thanks for going ahead and hitting that subscribe button and commenting, buddy. We thank you a lot, and hopefully we can give you some great help this year.
Thanks, Jarrod. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, our Monday through Thursday, we had a upside series released. We went over our top 4 high upside players at running back, wide receiver, and tight end, and our top 2 high upside QBs. You like how I didn't say RBs this time, Kyle?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make sure you check out those episodes, though. They're down there in the links below.
I'll put them up there, too. Right?
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Up here. They're up here.
That way.
Up top, yeah. All of them will be up there. I'll put a play. Well, we've got a playlist together for it, guys. So go ahead, check that playlist out. It's the Upside series.
Perfect. We created not only the Upside series, but we created this channel because we want to help you win your league this year, and that starts with the draft. Hence these mock draft Friday episodes. We're spending the rest of the summer preparing you to dominate and win your draft to win your league, Kyle.
Yes.
So if you want to learn how to draft to win and what moves to make during the season, make sure you hit that subscribe button like we already talked about, and go ahead and click that bell if you're watching on YouTube, and give us a thumbs up or a comment like we just did. Jarrod King, thank you very much. We'll definitely give you a shout out. If you have any questions, we'll answer it on here as well.
Well, so not only that, but a lot of you guys are new to our channel whenever you're checking out our mock drafts. So make sure you go ahead. Look, the Upside series, those videos range from about 20 minutes to nearly 40 minutes. So just pick one, watch it, tell us what you think. Maybe you want to hit that subscribe button, give it a try. Mock drafts aren't necessarily something that you're going to get a full flavor of what the Upside really is. So,
a full flavor.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're full bodied too.
Absolutely.
Something like that, right?
We're going to be here every week this year to help you guys out. And you can also catch us if you're not on YouTube. You can also find us via podcasts on a variety of platforms. And that includes your Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean. And our newest platform we just got the notification for was iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
So pretty much anywhere you can think of. We're going to add a couple more as we go as well. But Kyle, you have some more exciting news about us.
Yeah. So, we're posting a lot more frequently. We're every day this week, actually, and we're going to keep that up, I think. Beyond that, though, we're also working on the Victory Draft Kit. That's going to drop here somewhere first or second week of July, so keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll let you know when that's happening, and you can go ahead and grab a copy of that. And if you do buy it even early in the summer like we are, you'll have every edition that's published after that, all the way up through the point that we stop publishing it, which should be the first week of the season. Hope we have a first week of the season, right? Because they just canceled the Hall of Fame game today.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, they canceled the Hall of Fame game today. So they pushed it off to next year. They also canceled the enshrinement ceremony until next year. So that's the first thing that's gotten killed, guys. That's the first thing to be marked off. So now I think it was Steelers and maybe Baltimore who were going to play in that game. So
makes sense. That was probably Troy Polamalu and Ed Reed.
I think so. And so that's getting pushed until next year. That ceremony is, and both of those teams are now going to report to camp roughly at the same time that everybody else is. So that's the incentive, or I'm sorry, that's the plan at least right now. So let's hope that happens. We'll see. Anyway, let's dive right into this mock draft. We've got a special guest today. We've got Jarrod, not the guy that we were talking about earlier, Jarrod King, but Jarrod Wallace. That is Justin's brother. And so he's going to actually be just in the draft with us. He's not actually participating on on the video today, but he is going to be participating in the draft and making picks with us. So he's going to get a randomized spot as well as us, and we'll see what he does. We'll give him some grief and mock him mercilessly in the mock draft, right?
I can say that he has been doing a lot of mock drafts lately.
Oh, yeah, he'll probably kill us, yeah.
He's still newer to fantasy football. This is coming into his third year, but he's actually made quite a few strides his first couple of years for sure. So he's really excited to do this, but we will probably kind of go over some of his draft picks as well as we go through here.
Yeah, it'll slow down the draft a little bit too.
Yeah.
So expect this episode to be a little bit on the longer side than what we've been doing this week at least. So we're trying to keep everything short and concise. Obviously, this intro has been kind of really heavy because we've got a lot that we were talking about. But let's go ahead and dive right into this draft. We're doing standard scoring, 12-team, randomized, 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, a flex, kicker, and a defense. Our standard tactic is to wait on QBs, wait on tight ends, kicker and defense are your last picks. You're streaming those guys because there's nothing else to do with them. All right, let me see here.
I've already started it, so you should be seeing it. Looks like Jarrod has the 2nd pick. I have the 6th, and Kyle, you have the 8th.
Yippee skippy. At least we're not back to back this time. This is like the first time we're not. Is there a reason that the computer took forever to take Christian McCaffrey? That's a little.
It was giving us a clock for when the draft was actually starting.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. That makes a little bit of sense, I suppose. Okay, Saquon off the board.
Yeah.
All right, and then we lost Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott at 4, and Michael Thomas going up there at 5. Wow, you've got your pick of the litter that as far as running backs. I know you like Joe Mixon, but what are you looking at here? You got Henry and Cook on the board still.
Yeah, I like both, or all 3 actually. Henry, Cook, Mixon. Not so much on the Chubb, not so much on the Chubb side. But gosh,
you got to be a little careful there. We might not be able to get any advertisers if you keep that joke going.
I'm a freaking child. It's early for Mixon, and then Dalvin Cook. Amazing talent. It just scares me with the contract situation. So I think this is a Derrick Henry pick right here, especially with Michael Thomas going ahead of it. This is non-PPR. This guy just eats up yards, eats up carries. I don't think that's going to stop.
He eats up DBs, dude.
Yes. Eats up linebackers, eats up defensive line. He eats them all.
Oh, yeah.
So let's just go ahead and go with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and I'm in 8th spot here. Okay, so I should have a choice here of somebody.
So it went just Joe Mixon before. So, hey.
Man, I'll tell you, Dalvin Cook falling to me at the 8th pick is criminal. I know some people who are going to say, "Oh, you should go grab Chubb right now," because this is you're not going to get another pick until what is that? Coming back at pick 20.
Right.
I'm not on Chubb this year. No, I'm not actually. I have to make a blue shirt close to the blue color joke. Look, my problem with Chubb this year is that. And by the way, Mixon went off the board. My problem with Chubb this year is that Kareem Hunt just kills his TD value. With Kareem Hunt available, Nick Chubb only scored, I think it was 2 TDs last year. And then you add in Austin Hooper, who's another goal line threat. And I just see it going downhill for him a little bit. I'm not saying that this guy isn't going to be a top-tier performer. I'm just saying that he's got some competition this year. And he didn't have it all year last year. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Dalvin Cook here. That's where I'm going. I do like Devontae Adams, but not at the 8th pick. I'm not going to go there. No.
And then there's a lot of things that can change in between those picks anyways.
Yeah.
Or even, whenever it comes time to actually you picking during your draft, Dalvin
all right,
Cook
I'm
could
up
already
again.
have
Why don't you go ahead and run
contract.
through what we've got going?
Absolutely.
And I already know who I'm taking.
Since your Dalvin Cook pick, I already see it too. It was Nick Chubb, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones wrapped up the first round. At the start of the second, we had Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Chris Godwin, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. I want to make one little quick point. I saw this stat pop up with Aaron Jones today, okay? And if you take his 2 blow-up games out of his numbers for the year last year, and those were some ridiculous games, right? The game against Dallas, and there was another one where he had like 4 touchdowns, and he scored over 40 points in standard scoring, right? if you take those 2 games out, he was still a top 10 running back. So he's a solid guy. You have to consider him a top tier talent. It's kind of upsetting to see Josh Jacobs go off the board right before I pick. That would
Yeah,
have been
I'm sure.
a great snag. But in this situation, I'm looking here at running back, wide receiver still. I do like Miles Sanders a lot. I don't like him enough to go ahead and grab him here. In my opinion, he's probably one of the last big guys that's available. There's a few that are
10
further down the
seconds.
board, but I'm going here wide receiver Kenny Galladay all day long. All day Kenny Galladay. Yeah.
Galladay in.
All day Galladay.
Kelsey
All
went
right,
before.
Kelsey. Kelsey's gone.
Guess who's
But
right at the top?
hey, but that's what did we talk about just in our last episode? Kelsey has the most difficult tight end schedule for fantasy points allowed based on last year's numbers and the teams he's facing this year. Who has the easiest? George frickin' Kittle. So if you're going to reach, there's only 3 guys you're going to reach for in this draft for tight end. And that's Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and Mark Andrews. And if you can wait on those guys, or if you can wait and move past those guys, then you shouldn't be taking anybody until you shouldn't even be considering them until round 8 or so. So where are you leaning here this time?
So on this one, I would love to take my guy George Kittle, of course. I mean, because that's just my guy. But I hit it.
Oh yeah. Oh. I don't have it right up right now. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make any sense at this point, anyways. If Kenny Galladay was still here, that's who I would have picked. I like to do running back.
Yeah.
So truthfully, just down to Kenyon Drake or Miles Sanders. I really think that's kind of a toss-up, really, between those two. I mean, I think they're the alpha dogs on their team.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders, we just don't know exactly if Doug Peterson will give him the entire workload. Kenyon Drake only has Chase Edmonds behind him. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with Kenyon Drake.
I like Drake a lot this year. I do think that he's a solid pickup. He was great once he got on Arizona. And
So after my pick, we had Mike Evans go off the board, my guy George Kittle, and Lamar Jackson.
Wow, 10th pick, second round. I guess that's not too surprising.
Right.
Don't be that guy though. Like you can't go in there and take
that guy.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
You can't go in there and take a QB in the second round. You're foregoing so much value. Not only that, you cannot bet that guy is going to have the same season going this year that he had last year. You just can't.
Right.
It's not likely. It's just not likely. Injury risks, and he's higher injury risk than even Patrick Mahomes was. And so, yeah. All right. There he was. Miles Sanders.
Able to get Miles Sanders at the end. Close to the end of the second.
I think that's an amazing pick at the back of the second round.
Oh yeah. And then the Eclair went off, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And then Odell Beckham at the start of the third, and it's back to Jarrod, and he's probably going to choose A.J. Brown if I had to guess.
I would guess A.J. Brown here for him is what
he loves. A.J. Brown.
It's not a terrible pick. It's not a terrible play right now. I think that with Amari Cooper, you're getting a guy that you know is going to get wide receiver 1 level targeting. A.J. Brown, I worry about an offense that's not as pass oriented. But he's really, him and Jonnu Smith are really the only targets. So he's not competing on the wide receiver targeting. Right. He's not really competing with anybody.
So Amari Cooper just kind of scares me a little bit with the consistency. I know he was kind of banged up last year, but
he was consistent until he got banged up last year.
Okay.
And he's also moving into a system now with Mike McCarthy, who is
that wide receiver 1.
He always wants to feature that wide receiver 1. He wants to have a true wide receiver 1. And while I think that eventually it'll be CeeDee Lamb, who's their wide receiver 1, that's not going to happen this year. That may happen next year, may be his third year when he finally takes over. But they paid Amari Cooper to be the wide receiver 1 on that team. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to treat him like that. I don't know. It took him a little while there, but he made that pick. Yep, A.J. Brown. All right, so next off the board, we got A.J. Brown, followed by Todd Gurley, Amari Cooper, then Pat Mahomes goes 5th pick, 3rd round. That's actually a slide, I think, for Mahomes. I think that a lot of people are going to reach to grab him in the 2nd round. So I would imagine that's where you should expect him to go. If you just have your mind set on drafting a QB earlier, early in the draft, then obviously those are your only really two choices to make. So what are you
Absolutely.
thinking here?
So there's I think wide receiver is probably the smartest play right now because there's some good value still here. Um, I mean, I like Adam Thielen. I like Juju Smith-Schuster, but I also like Allen Robinson a lot. We've talked
Yeah,
about this a few times. Allen Robinson has,
I
based
think
off Fantasy
he's
Pros, he's the number one strength of schedule, based on that. And
yeah.
if we're looking at Nick Foles being the quarterback, hopefully, or at
And
least
you're already sitting with two solid running backs right
two
now. So
solid running backs.
you probably should be leaning wide receiver at this point.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
Jared's roster as well so far. He's got two top flight running backs who I think both of them should finish as running back ones this year.
And then AJ Brown.
And he's got AJ Brown as a wide receiver, back end wide receiver one, probably wide receiver two, high end there.
I'm
So
gonna go ahead and go with Adam Thielen. I think he's gonna have a back. Shoot, I'm gonna change my mind again. Allen
yeah,
Robinson.
5'4". Yeah, Allen Robinson.
You
Okay.
know what? I just really like Allen Robinson. So Melvin Gordon went between our picks, so it's up to you. So
All right.
you have
So
quite a
I've
few
got on
here.
my roster here right now. Let's double check here. I've got Dalvin Cook, Kenny Galladay. Man. So I feel like I've got two really, really solid guys. I'd like to pair another really top tier guy. It seems to me that Chris Carson's going to be getting a lot of uh, running back one carries. I see Leonard Fournette still sitting down there as well, and he's Mr. Volume, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm playing the draft the way it's falling to me, and I'm not looking at Mark Andrews here, by the way, because I
No.
know that it's telling me that's who I should be picking. That's not who I'm picking. I know they want to throw it more, and he's a clear tight end one, but that's just not where I'm going to go. It's gonna hate me for this, and you guys might hate me for this, but I'm reaching here probably a little bit because I don't think
Uh-oh.
that he's going to be there when I want to come back and try to grab him. So I'm going to grab him now, and that's DJ Moore. I'm expecting big things out of him. It's
No,
probably a crazy pickup at this point, but
after our upside series that we did, I think that's a really good. You kind of sold me on it after going
Mhm.
through all the numbers with Matt Rule and everything like that. So, no, I
Yeah,
think that was a good pick. So let me run these down for you while you're looking over some stuff.
sure.
Leonard Fournette went after your DJ Moore pick, then Chris Carson, Austin Eckler. To finish off that third round was Adam Thielen. To start the fourth, my little Cooper Kupp. And we had Mark Andrews, Juju Smith-Schuster, DK Metcalf, fourth pick in the fourth round. Dang, that's a little early for, I think, both of us.
It's
So,
early for us, but yeah, I don't know.
yeah. What are you thinking on this pick?
Man, my team's going to end up a little bit running wide receiver heavy and running back light, I think, because I'm not a huge fan of the running back situation that's sitting here. Although I do want to try to get a solid running back too. My concern here is that you've got injury risks. You've got guys who are they're going to be splitting carries, that sort of stuff. I could take a flyer here right now, but my concern is, am I wasting my fourth pick? And looking at David Johnson, but that team made Carlos Hyde get 1,000 yards last year.
It's true.
I
So
mean,
it's
I know
possible.
that David Johnson's banged up always, it seems, lately. But I think,
Had a whole
honestly,
off
like,
season to recover, though.
I like the wide receivers here. I do, but I also am not so married to any one in particular of them that I think what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to draft David Johnson.
Dang.
He's one of my avoid at all costs kind of guys, but I'll tell you, I'm looking at Jonathan Taylor, James Conner, Le'Veon Bell, David Montgomery.
Yeah.
I don't want to reach for Mostert there. I
Right.
just don't. So
See,
Ingram
David
went off.
Johnson
Mark
has been a
Ingram went off
guy,
the
though.
board.
I mean, like David Johnson, I mean, he had a couple of years of just stellar performance and maybe change the scenery. And like you said, I mean, Bill O'Brien made Carlos Hyde a guy, made
Yeah,
him a player last year.
yeah.
And, they all said that David Johnson came back way too early from an injury because he wanted to help out his team. So, but this could not have worked out any better for me, though. I mean, Mark Ingram went in between our picks, and I have the pick of the litter for wide receivers that I just absolutely love.
Yeah, I mean the draft has really fallen really well for you. I mean it's tough. Like this is part of the reason that you have to do a lot of mock drafts is
Yeah.
because if I were doing this as a mock by myself, I would have probably gone back on my second pick, gone back on my first pick and unwound the draft a little bit,
Right.
forced it to allow me to take different guys and see the reaction, see what my second or third pick would be, what it would be available to me there. So I start working out what kind of tendencies I should have so I can change my stuff. It's worked out amazingly well for you. When I look at your roster, I like the way that you've built this up so far.
So I'm going to go ahead and go with Calvin Ridley as my pick, and to slot him in as a wide receiver 2 is just pretty stellar in my opinion because of what he can potentially do this year.
Yeah. All right, and then we got James Conner finally going off the board there.
And let me
Terry
go back real quick.
Sure.
Let me go back real quick and just go, piggyback on what you're talking about, being able to undo and kind of go back. That's what's great about Fantasy Pros is the fact that you can kind of undo or even just restart your draft. That way you can kind of keep going back and forth to see exactly what you like. But, okay, let's go back here. I'm sorry. So after my Calvin Ridley pick, we had James Conner, Terry McLaurin, Cortland Sutton, Robert Woods, Le'Veon Bell to finish off the 4th.
Just to interrupt slightly, there's no reason that McLaurin should be going ahead of Sutton, in my opinion.
No.
Those offenses, I'm not high on either of them, but if I'm going to be picking one over the other, I'm taking Sutton over McLaurin. McLaurin is boom or bust. Sutton is going to get a constant volume. So, I like Robert Woods, and I think that's a great pick at the back of the 4th round.
That's good by Jared.
Surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised, and I'm glad he didn't take the bait and take Le'Veon Bell there. I'm fading Le'Veon Bell as hard as I can, and if you've watched a lot of our stuff, then you know that situation's really bad. It's gone from bad to worse for him this year.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, so Jared has a roster of his 2 running backs are Saquon and Miles Sanders. His wide receivers A.J. Brown and Robert Woods. I couldn't really tell you where he's leaning on this one, truthfully.
I think he would have probably leaned towards T.Y. if he was still there. I could see him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I could see him take somebody like Jonathan Taylor or Tyler Lockett. Let me jump back into the list here, the ECR. And there's a lot of options here for him.
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor, yeah. I like that pick, but he's going to have to wait. So his roster has to have that second solid running back on there because Jonathan Taylor is somebody that you're going to have to wait a couple weeks for him to really start picking up the volume. All right, next off the board after Jonathan Taylor, we lost Tyler Lockett, Keenan Allen, and Devin Singletary. Don't take Keenan Allen this year, guys. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy. He's just not going to do it for you this year, guys. He lost Phillip Rivers, and he's the king of inconsistency. So I think he's going to become very, very consistent in a very, very bad way.
Consistently bad.
Where are you leaning here? Where are you leaning?
So there's a couple guys I like, and they're actually a running back because I like to put a running back in my flex spot, even though I still have a wide receiver slot open. It's the fact that there's 2 guys that are really good, in my opinion. One is really good about the potential of volume. He didn't do the greatest last year with that volume, but he was also a rookie. It was David Montgomery.
Yeah.
The second guy is Raheem Mostert that just dominated the league there towards the second half of the season.
And I'll tell you, unless I know you're going to take one of those, and unless one of them goes off the board between the 2 of us, I'll probably take the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and David Montgomery.
Okay.
The amount of work that they want to give him, and I think he will come back a little bit better, a little bit more efficient this year, especially if you have Nick Foles at QB, in my opinion.
When he's also second year.
There you go.
I think he's more solid. Oh, and Deebo Samuel goes 7th pick, 5th round. He's just had a surgery on his foot. Yeah. I guess maybe somebody's banking on week 1 not happening. So yeah, Deebo at the middle of the 5th round. That's a reach.
You get that drop for me, bro?
Yeah, here we go. Let me grab that. I'm not on it today because I got full screen on the mock itself, so I don't have my soundboard up. Deebo! Yeah, the Deebo drop. All right, so where I'm going, obviously, I already said, is Raheem Mostert. I think that Raheem Mostert is friggin' beast. And if there's anybody here in the 5th round who might actually finish the back of running back 1, top of running back 2, I think it's probably him.
2 guys we just talked about.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are getting hot on Darius Geis. You're betting on a lot there. I like Kareem Hunt, but I like him as a thief of opportunity more than anything. I also like J.K. Dobbins to some extent, but I'm not going that far down the board. I think some of those guys will still be available if I want. And at this point, yeah, I could go and get my wide receiver 3 if I wanted. I do like a few of these guys here, but
I'm sure you like
I
DJ
feel like,
Chark, Devontae
I
Parker.
feel like I
Yeah.
missed out a little bit on my second running back. And so I want to shore up that position a little bit before I go and pick out my next guy. And look, it comes right back up, and boom, I've still got some wide receivers available.
All right, let me go through this for you while you're looking over everything. DJ Chark did go right after your Mostert pick, and then we had Zach Ertz, Dak Prescott, Cam Akers at the end of the fifth. So at the beginning of the sixth, J.K. Dobbins, Darius Geis, Marlon Mack, Russell Wilson. I am super glad we picked those 2 running backs after what just came off the board after those 2.
Absolutely,
Yes.
because there was a run on that the last solid running backs that were available, and we snagged, in our opinion, the very best ones that were still
with
left
upside.
at that point. Yeah,
with
the
upside.
Guys, yeah, I mean, I'm hot on Mostert like crazy this year. I'm not going to put him over top of a lot of other guys, but I think he's solid, and I think David Montgomery's in for a big year too. I think that, look, he's got no competition. So like I'm sitting here now looking at wide receiver. That's where I'm going, and there's only a couple considerations here for me, and that's Devontae Parker. Stephon Diggs maybe a little bit, but he's not over top of these 2, and that's Devontae Parker and Michael Gallup. And in my opinion, one of them is a wide receiver 1 in his offense, and the other one's a wide receiver 2. He does get wide receiver 1 level targeting to some extent, and that's Michael Gallup. But I don't know exactly what's going to happen with him. But I do know what that offense for Miami is looking like, and it's Devontae Parker all day. So that's where I'm going here. Hey, I snagged him off the waiver wire in our keeper league last year, and that was one of the best moves that I made the whole season.
Yeah.
I drafted Dalvin Cook 5th overall, and I got Devontae Parker in week 2, I think, off the waiver wire. Those probably were the reason that I was able to get as far as I did. So, all right, who came off the board after that is AJ Green.
AJ Green, which I would like AJ Green in like the 8th round.
Yeah,
for sure, because you're just taking a flyer, but I can't count on him as my wide receiver 3 in fantasy. So I am looking.
Well, I mean, he's a bigger question too, because he also has Joe Burrow as his QB. So while Burrow is probably like the best or closest thing to NFL ready out of that class, that doesn't mean he is NFL ready. So it's a question. Yeah.
Yep.
So you're leaning wide receiver here? Is that what you said?
Yeah. To go ahead and get my 3rd wide receiver, I actually just, another cool thing about Fantasy Pros is you can dismiss somebody for a round. I dismissed Stephon Diggs. I just can't trust it. So it's actually down to Jarvis Landry and Michael Gallup, because Jarvis Landry has just always been consistent. But I'm looking for a guy that's a little bit more upside, younger, better chance of performing. And like you said, he really came on and he's getting the targets. They lost Randall Cobb. They lost Jason Witten. I think the Cowboys still have some targets to share. So I'm going to go Michael Gallup.
Yeah, I think that offense has got – they had 166 vacated targets between Cobb and Witten. So Blake Jarwin's going to step up. They signed him to a 3-year extension. And so I think that there's plenty of opportunity available in that offense for Michael Gallup. So where do you think that Jarrod's going to go here?
Well, so after the Gallup pick, we had Darren Waller come off the board. Kyler Murray, I bet you he was hoping Kyler Murray would fall to him at this pick. And then Evan Ingram, and now he's up, and he has a roster.
I do have to say, back of the 6th round for Kyler Murray is pretty good. I think
good value.
If you're going to spend a high pick on a guy, you want to be able to grab Kyler Murray at that point. I'm surprised that Russell Wilson went ahead of him. So yeah,
I'm guessing he might go Jarvis.
I pulled up Jared's roster here. He's got Saquon, Miles Sanders, AJ Brown, Robert Woods, and Jonathan Taylor. So I think he's leaning. He's probably leaning wide receiver. Yeah, and if he's he's been listening to us and he knows what he's doing here, he should be building some depth.
Jarvis,
No.
Oh, he went Stephon. Okay, I actually had him dismissed. So
he's got pretty close to back-to-back picks, right? He's got Stephon Diggs, Deshaun Watson went off the board, Jarvis Landry, and I think that right now, if he goes wide receiver, he's going Marvin Jones. If he goes running back,
he might look at tight end.
he might go to tight end here
because he might try to fill out his roster
Yeah.
before his QBs. And there's no real QBs that I would choose at this pick.
If you want to take a flyer at this point in the running back territory, like what's left on the board that I'm looking at, I like DeAndre Swift, and I think he just took him.
Nope.
He went off the board right after. He took Josh Allen.
Wow.
Okay, now we got to flame him, right?
Seventh round. I mean, he did perform, but yeah, that's tough to get Josh Allen after that.
That offense has got it's got a tough road ahead. Yeah. I don't know. They were like, oh, he's bulking up and everything like that. And I'm like, yeah, him bulking up doesn't get his receivers open.
So after Josh Allen, we had Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Swift, Keyshawn Vaughn. Oh, I am so happy right now that this wide receiver is still on the board right now. We keep talking about him. Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
Come on down.
There's some running back value there though too, by the way.
Yeah, we do have.
There's running backs that I don't necessarily have above Marvin Jones here, but I do also like Jordan Howard and Damian Williams here. I think that the issue for Jordan Howard is that Matt Breida is a solid running back, but Damian Williams is going to lose out to the Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So you're at that point you're just picking up something for a little while is what you're getting.
So I already made my case when it comes to Marvin Jones. If you listen to us, we love Marvin Jones this year, and he's going to be a depth player for me right now.
That's sick. It's just
Aaron went in between our picks.
Oh wow, Aaron. He's not going to be a top 12 guy this year, guys. He wasn't last year, and I don't imagine that he's going to be any better this year. I'm looking. I need to pull up my roster. Give it a quick peek here. I've got 3 and 3. I could go either way. I could, if I want, start reaching for a tight end. I probably don't. I don't think it's worth reaching here for what's on the board. I'm not going to go after Hunter Henry or Tyler Higbee in this spot. And then once you get past that, it's not a drop off. I wouldn't classify it as a drop off. You're looking for the right guy. You're looking for the guy who has the value, the upside, all of that stuff. So wide receiver and running back is where I'm still sitting. I'm not going to go for a QB here. Sony Michel, I think he's going to lose some carries to what's his name? Damian Harris.
Then you still got James White there. You still have Rex Burkhead there. Maybe not all of them are on the roster, but
I think here what I'm going to do. Gosh, I need to poke my head over to the roster again. I've got the wrong roster up.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and grab Tyler Boyd. No, I'm going to do Edelman is what I'm going to do. And the reason is that somebody's got to get the pick or get the passes, right?
All right.
I don't necessarily – I didn't like what was sitting there. And
all right, go ahead and
I'm
look
trying
it over
to run
real
back
quick.
and around. Yeah, I'm trying to run through a lot of stuff at the same time.
Tyler Boyd came after your Edelman pick, and then we had Kareem Hunt, Kerryon Johnson, Rob Gronkowski at the end of the 7th. So at the beginning of the 8th is his QB, #Twommy. Immunity pills. Yeah. And then we had Brandon Cooks, Drew Brees, and Damian Williams.
All right. So there's been a run on QBs, but in my opinion, I'm seeing QBs go off the board who are guys I'm not going to target, guys who I think are not going to put up the numbers that I want. It's possible Brady puts up some phenomenal yardage this year, but I'm not going after that. I'm not going to go chase that. What I'm looking at here, though, is I like running backs to some extent, but nothing I'm going for here. Jared is texting, Edelman sucks. I agree, but he's wide receiver one. But he's wide receiver one, and so that's where I'm at. If I'm looking at tight ends, I'm still fading that. If I'm looking at QBs, there's too much value still available. And, I'm avoiding now Sony Michel probably. I like Ronald Jones. I think he's going to lose out some stuff to Keyshawn Vaughn. And Matt, that's where I'm going is Ronald Jones. I think that Ronald Jones, I've seen too many things from him. He's explosive. I think Keyshawn Vaughn's great, but man. All right, Will Fuller went off right after that, and now it's on to Justin's pick.
So yeah, running back. If Ronald Jones was still there, I think I would have probably leaned towards that way. We still have Jordan Howard available. He may be available in the next round, though. I mean, his ADP is 104. We're at pick 91, so that is a possibility.
Jordan Howard.
Yeah, Jordan Howard.
Yeah,
but
and like I said, Matt Breida is going to eat into his volume. I think.
Yeah.
I think people are really hot on Jordan Howard for some reason, and I'm like, Matt Breida is a thief. So, yeah,
he is. But based off running backs that are available, Sony Michel, based off Fantasy Pros, I'm just can't count on that in my opinion. I think I actually am leaning towards Jordan Howard. It's actually down to Jordan Howard or Matt Ryan, because even though it's the 8th round, I still think that's some pretty good value. His ADP is 84. We're at pick 91. That's pretty good value for a guy that's just going to throw dang near 700 times.
Yeah.
Tight end still, we like to fade.
I mean, I think that there's some really great upside tight ends available late. Yeah. So,
Matt Ryan, come on down.
All right. So, following the Matt Ryan pick, we've got Christian Kirk. That's not a bad pick. Jordan Howard and Sony Michel. Now, J-Rod is on the clock here. Let's see what he's got. What did he go and grab last time? Let me pull up his roster here. I accidentally left it on his roster last time, and that kind of screwed me up a little bit. Last pick that he made was Josh Allen, I believe. I don't know. Do you think he's pulling some like fill my roster out before I build my bench move? If that's the case, he's going Hunter Henry here. I know he likes Henry. I think he kept him in our league last year or something.
He did.
I don't think he's going to keep him this year, but it's possible he goes tight end. If he goes tight end here, he's going either Henry or Higbee. But I know he likes Henry. I'm surprised to see Matt Stafford hanging around up there.
Yeah, we both like him.
Yeah. And we're sitting in the 8th round, crossing into the 9th.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Here he went. Yeah. Emmanuel Sanders. Not a terrible pick there. That's actually a pretty good
like
pick.
him.
A wide receiver 2 for New Orleans this year. Very clear wide receiver 2. He's not competing, in my opinion, with Jared Cook very much. And get him in the back of the 8th round. That's pretty darn good. Justin Jefferson went off the board there right after that. And then CeeDee Lamb. So we got back-to-back rookies. I'd rather take a wide receiver 2 over a rookie who's going to be a wide receiver 1 in a year or 2. All right, next he went Darius Slayton, followed by John Brown, Alan Lazard, and Philip Lindsay. Seeing Alan Lazard starting to get some noise, starting to get some attention.
Yeah.
I think it's because everybody thinks that the wide receiver 2 has to perform as a wide receiver 2 on the Packers, and I don't see that anymore. Like, I don't think that a wide receiver 2 is going to perform at that level this year.
I gotcha.
And it's a shot in the dark. I mean, they've got too many guys coming back healthy right now. They've got MVS. They've got MVS, Alan Lazard, Equanimous St. Brown, and a couple other guys as options. You've got Reggie Begelton, who's got 7 years experience up in the Canadian Football League. You got a lot of guys who have experience.
Yep.
You're guessing.
For this pick, I'm kind of looking, we're coming up in close to the 10th round. We're in picked 6 of the 9th round, 102 overall. I am looking at probably tight end because I like Higbee more than you do, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah, they changed kind of their offense towards the end of the season. Well, there's a reason for that, and I don't think they did enough to change it again. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
they did a lot of 12 personnel.
Yeah, that line was a problem. Yeah.
I think this is a pretty good value in my opinion. Still to get Tyler Higbee in the 9th.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. No. All right. McCole Hardman went off the board there next. I think that's a bet that Sammy Watkins is not going to be the wide receiver 2 on that team
not
this
a
year.
Guy anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he's a crazy dude. He is a crazy dude. I like some of the wide receiver talent that's sitting down there right now. As far as I'm looking right now, I've got to start getting some more running backs, I think, onto my roster. Let me double check here. I don't recall.
I need running backs.
I'm okay. I've got 4 running backs and I've got 4 wide receivers. I'm sitting pretty solid on my mix there. If I am comfortable right now, I could reach for the QB at this spot. I think I would like to see what sneaks into the 10th round for me. There's a couple guys that I'm comfortable taking at this point. And I'm fine if I miss on either of them, I suppose. I don't want to take, personally, I don't want to take Carson Wentz. I would prefer Matt Stafford over him. And I can comfortably say that knowing that Justin's not picking before me, before my next pick. I'm fading the tight ends at this spot, and running backs look a little bit messy here. If I want to
Yeah, I just looked
grab
at it. There's
Zach
just not much
Moss,
there.
but what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to grab my high upside guy. I'm going to get him. That's Deontay Johnson.
There you go.
Yeah, some people might think
I'll,
I'm crazy.
No, he's starting to get some run for sure.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson is. So after that was Daryl Henderson, James White, Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman to finish out the 9th round. So at the beginning of the 10th, we had Mike Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Zach Moss, Henry Ruggs, and you are back up.
All right. So I know that if I don't take him here, probably Justin will. But I could go tight end here. I think Hunter Henry's a solid pick because you've got Tyrod Taylor or a rookie in that offense. So Hunter Henry could be solid.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go tight end here because there's too much value behind him that I like actually better than Hunter Henry because I have a little bit better idea of what to expect with them. And that would be Hayden Hurst, Noah Fant, Mike Gesicki, even Jonnu Smith. And I think TJ Hawkinson's going to be okay this year. But Blake Jarwin's hiding down there. Eric Ebron's hiding down there, and Jack Doyle. There's too much value down there. But where I'm leaning right now, and you want to tell me what I'm picking?
Anthony Miller?
No, I'm not going there actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I could.
Are you going to Matty Stafford?
I was thinking of doing Matt Stafford, but I do like Carson Wentz. But those are the last 2 QBs that I'm really into at this point that are left in this board. And so I really feel like I have to go ahead and grab Matthew Stafford here. It's going to give me grief for picking him. I know it. But look, I'm building my roster the way I want to build it. All right, Sterling Shepard went off.
Yeah.
And so where are you going? Are you going to go to Anthony Miller here?
No, I have Allen Robinson on my team.
I was going to say, I was just thinking to myself, you might have Allen Robinson. Let me see what you've got.
Yeah.
I don't think Anthony Miller is going to fall down the board and make it even to Jarrod.
No. So right now I have my QB Matt Ryan, Derrick Henry, and Kenyon Drake as my running backs. Allen Robinson, Calvin Ridley, Michael Gallup, Tyler Higbee, and David Montgomery in my flex, and then Marvin Jones on the bench. So right now,
don't you want to make it 3? Don't you want to make it 3
pieces?
3 strong? Don't you want to have 3 strong from Chicago?
You can. Hold on, you kind of froze up on me a little bit.
You're breaking up a little bit there. Okay, I was saying, don't you want to have 3 strong?
Strong with the.
Yeah. I'll tell you. So our keeper league has
not really.
Some Packers fans, some Colts fans, and some Bears fans in it. Like those are the 3 big groups. And for whatever reason, the Bears fans, they draft Bears. And I think we had 9 Bears players off the board last year in our draft. It was the most players from any single team. And I was like, why? Why?
Go Anthony Miller and back it up with Tariq Cohen. That's what I should do.
Well,
I ended up going with Latavius Murray.
All right.
Yeah, he's still there. I went Latavius Murray, and some of the reason why is Alvin Kamara was banged up last year, and whenever he was banged up, Latavius Murray kind of showed out. And I think he's still going to get that work like a Mark Ingram had in the Saints. And if you're picking in the 10th round right now and trying to find running back that could take off if available, or just is still going to get some steady work, and I think that's Latavius Murray.
Well, I think also that offense was a little bit broken last year because it lost Drew Brees. It wasn't operating at its topmost level. So I think that that's part of what was lost there, is that the second running back wasn't always involved equally like they had in the past with Ingram and Kamara together. So I think that's what they want to do, is they want to have the two running backs. And so, yeah. All right, where do you think that Jarrod's going to go here?
I don't
Pull up
know.
his.
Can you pull up his roster?
Yeah, you're breaking up on me here. He's going to probably, I think he's going Hunter Henry. Yep. We called it. Hunter Henry. All right, he went Hunter Henry. Robbie Anderson went next. Jamison Crowder after that, and then he's back on the clock. I think he's going to try to go running back here. So his team, unfortunately, the way he has built it, he is a little light at running back. He's got that top-tier talent, though, on his team. But he's got a severe drop off, I think, after running back 2. So if I'm well, yeah. So he's got Saquon Barkley and Miles Sanders, but then he's got Jonathan Taylor as his running back 3, and then nothing else behind that. So my concern here is that his running back 3 is at best at this point probably a flex play for the season. He might slot into an actual running back slot as the season wears on. But you're really only getting about a back third of a fantasy football season out of Jonathan Taylor as a running back player. Otherwise, you're really just getting him as a flex. If he loses a guy to injury out of any of those out of any of those guys, he's going to be in trouble. So if I were him, I would be building for running back depth at this point. And instead, he went and took Anthony Miller. And then we lost Golden Tate, Sammy Watkins, and Alexander Madison. So, yeah, I mean, I would have been looking at running back there if I were him. You're on the clock here. So what do you got? Or no, yeah,
So
you're on the clock, right? Yeah.
I'm on the clock. Yeah, I'm on the clock. So
just
when
wanted
it
to
comes to
confirm.
running backs, I am actually kind of I am looking at running backs still. Just, this is one of those, 10th, 11th, 12th. I think you can find some decent running backs.
Yeah.
Duke Johnson is somebody that I've always wished, when it comes to Duke Johnson, that he would be given the fair share of the load. But then, Boston Scott is right there, A.J. Dillon, Nyheim Hines. So, because when I look at wide receiver, there's just not anything right now at this pick that's really screaming at me.
I like Curtis Samuel. If I didn't have DJ Moore already, I do like Curtis Samuel here.
Yeah.
And I think Preston Williams is an okay pick. I mean, you're in the 11th
I'm just
round.
worried about the AC or ACL.
Yeah, but you're looking at 11th round, a guy who when he comes back slots in as a wide receiver 2 who competes with a good talented wide tight end. What'd you grab there?
I went ahead and got Boston Scott. If you've been watching my mock drafts, I do like Boston Scott. And what I've done in these back-to-back picks are guys that are high-end handcuffs for the starters. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and then Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray. So those are running backs that have shown that they can perform in this league.
Yeah, I mean, I would have taken Boston Scott if you hadn't. If he fell to me, I was going to take him there. So I do like that pick. I think that he's more than just a handcuff. I think he's an actual guy who's going to carry probably 30+% of the carries for that team this year. And I think that's a pretty solid result for him, especially because he makes it work.
I think they're going to do like the every, 2 series to 1 series when it comes to Boston Scott. So Miles will go out for 2 series, then Boston Scott will come out for 1 series.
I don't know that it's going to be as explicit as series to series. I think it'll be a little bit different than that. I'm still waiting on tight end here, guys. I'm leaning running back just because I need to pick up some running back depth. I feel like I'm weaker there, but I'm not so sold on the wide receivers that are available. I'm not going Curtis Samuel because I already have DJ Moore. And what I'm going to do here actually is I think I'm going to take, I'm going to take Tony Pollard. I'm going to see what happens there.
Nice.
I think that could get something out of that. Mike McCarthy likes to use running backs a little bit weird, and he makes value out of other guys. It's just the way it works. All right, so we're in the 12th round. What did we just lose? We lost Duke Johnson. Let's see here. We got Brashard Perriman. Preston Williams, San Francisco's defense, Tariq Cohen, Deshaun Jackson, Duke Johnson, New England's defense, Jalen Rigger. Okay, so again, I could take another flyer at running back. Let me pull up my roster here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 5 of them, and I've got 5 wide receivers. I like to balance my roster, but at the same time, I also am starting to look at the tight ends here.
Yeah.
And I could get my pick. One of my guys that I've been hot on since they made the trade, and that's Hayden Hurst. I really like Hayden Hurst. And I mean, I think that there's some really great value down the board from him as well. If I'm looking over here at running backs, I feel like there's a lot of question mark guys, a lot of guys who aren't going to get level 1 carries, level 2 carries. Wide receiver, Paris Campbell's somebody I like. N'Keal Harry's, that's a flyer if I take that.
Yeah.
Where I think I'm going to go here in the 12th round is I'm going to come and grab Hayden Hurst. So
That's
where I'm going.
Great pick.
Yeah. An offense that's going to throw it 700 times this year.
Curtis Samuel went right before my pick.
I told you should have taken him instead of Boston Scott and let me take Boston Scott. Then.
Well, you're going to take Boston Scott, though.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
I hope that in our draft, we know you have the first pick. I hope I end up with the second pick so that the two of us are just sniping each other going back and forth.
Right.
The whole draft. All right. So Curtis Samuel's gone. Where are you leaning here? I mean, it sounds like you were interested in wide receiver. Are you still interested in wide receiver at this spot, or are you leaning maybe towards that tight end? Or did you already grab one? You haven't grabbed one, have you? Yeah, you did. You took Higbee.
I grabbed Higbee towards the yeah. So I'm all good at tight end. I'm not. Right. There might be one of those late round picks if I want to pick another tight end, which is not my usual thing.
And you've also got Matt Ryan on your board.
I am looking at.
You've also got Matt Ryan on the board, so you're not looking at QB either.
Wide receiver. No. So I'm still looking at wide receiver right here because running backs I've went back to back Latavius Murray and Boston Scott, and I don't see anything else right there that's really screaming at me. Yeah, I could always do the homer pick of Michael Pittman Jr. because I think he is going to show out. I mean, this guy is very talented and is very much seasoned for a rookie. I usually don't do rookies, but I mean,
I like Paris Campbell over
tall guys.
I like Paris Campbell over him there. So, all right, I'm getting something saying that my connection's bad. I don't know what's going on here. All right, you took Michael Pittman, and then off the board went Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. So this draft is trying to trick us around a little bit and grab those defenses early. That's great. That's fine. That's what you want. Now, I wanted to bring something up. I wanted to let you make your pick and talk about it. And while Jarrod was making his pick, I wanted to talk about this. And that's that this is why you wait on QB, but it is also why you only take one QB. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're taking a second QB, you're taking somebody who you can't get into your lineup, but maybe once or twice a season. Right. Whereas if you're picking running backs and wide receivers right now, or all the way up until this point, and then you're taking your QB now, what you've done is you've built a depth on your bench for wide receivers and running backs, which are positions that you can't guarantee you're going to hit. You also can't guarantee their health. And so making sure that you have enough depth there is very important. And that's why I was talking about Jarrod's bench a little bit and the way he built it. I feel like he's got a severe drop-off at running back, and that's from his 2 to 3. And then he's got nothing behind that. And here he is. He's taking a defense right now. Brandon Ayuk went off the board. He took Chicago. Brandon Ayuk went off the board. Noah Fant is off the board. And he's got to go running back, and then kicker. In my opinion, that's where he has to go here because – I'm not always going to say he needs 6 of 1, 6 of 1. I'm not saying that. You go 6 running backs, 6 wide receivers. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he's got a problem on his roster right now, as far as I can tell. And that's where that is existing. And so he needs to find one running back who's going to rise above where he ends up drafting him. And that's why you draft that depth. You're looking for that guy. You're trying to catch something there. I said that I felt a little bit weaker on my running back position than I did anywhere else. I've got a fairly balanced roster. I don't feel like I have any major players other than I feel like Cook, Galladay, and Parker are pretty solid.
Chase
Hurst is
Edmonds.
pretty solid. So I think that, yeah, so he's going running backs. He's looking for the guys that are going to maybe grab some play time if somebody gets hurt. That's really where he should be focusing his effort through the remainder of this draft.
Yeah, so he went Chase Edmonds, and then Naheem Hines, Adrian Peterson. I thought he was going to go all day, Adrian Peterson, and then Denzel Mims. So I am up again, and I have just chosen a wide receiver. Previously, Michael Pittman Jr. I'm actually leaning towards wide receiver again, and I was hoping this guy would come back down to me again, and that's N'Keal Harry. He was banged up last year, even though he did have hashtag Twommy thrown to him, but he was a rookie wide receiver. And okay, you talked about Julian Edelman going to be getting a lot of the targets. They're still going to throw. Who else is on that roster? Who else is on that roster that's going to catch balls? I mean, James White will. I mean, is Jacoby Myers still on the roster? You know what I mean?
So I think so, but I don't think Sanu's is Sanu still there. I think his contract
he is, but I think he's still there.
Yeah,
I just don't think that's. I mean, you drafted N'Keal Harry at the end of the first round last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bill Belichick doesn't draft wide receivers that early.
Yeah,
I don't believe on him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he does not. So I think they're expecting something out of him. The question mark is Stidham, and that's why I was really, really skeptical of Edelman. But I know that Edelman has good hands, even though he had a lot of drops last year. I know he has pretty good hands. So, all right, next off the board after N'Keal Harry was Carson Wentz.
Can you just see who just went picked? How is he still available in the 13th round?
Yeah, I know, right? So that's crazy. This
value
is why
is there late.
Yeah, so this is why I would not have made that Jared Allen pick that Jared made, right? Or not Jared Allen. I'm sorry, Josh Allen pick, and that's because the value does exist in QB really, really late in the draft. The 13th round, you're getting a guy who's probably back in QB1, maybe around QB9 overall to 12, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
What I'm looking at right now is I want at least one more running back on my roster. I've got 2 open slots for running backs or wide receivers. And I'm not a huge fan of Jamal Williams. I've never been. I call him Wet Concrete Williams because it looks like he's running in wet concrete. Malcolm Brown, I don't know what's going to happen on that team, but I'll tell you a rookie that I kind of like and I want to see what happens with them is the guy I'm taking right now, and that's Anthony McFarland Jr. Something about this dude that he is fast as hell and he's big. And it's something about him that reminds me of Jerome Bettis. And all right, so there is a wide receiver I like here. There's a couple of them actually.
You like Paris Campbell?
I like Paris Campbell and I like Hunter Renfrow. Renfrow's going to lose out a little bit because of what they took Jerry Jeudy, I think, or something out there. I forget who.
Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, Henry Ruggs. So he's going to lose out a little bit, and that offense is going to go first through Josh Jacobs. And Carr, he throws really good, but he's a middling QB. So I don't know. Where I'm leaning here at this point. Wow, that's an interesting, really loud noise, right? Where I'm leaning right now is between Paris Campbell and Hunter Renfrow, and I am going to take. Gosh, they're going to just. I think they're going to throw a lot more this year, and that's the Colts. I think they can trust that they can. So I'm going to go there and take Paris Campbell.
It's a good pick. He's banged up last year. He had a lot of fluke injuries.
All right. So Carlos Hyde went off the board right after that.
Yep.
The thief of joy, right? If there's anybody who's going to screw a running back room over, it's Carlos Hyde. That guy, I don't know what he does to the other guys, but they all get hurt. So it's like I like Chris Carson. Oh, they took Carlos Hyde.
So with this one, I am actually looking at another running back to kind of clean up my roster here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to get 6 and 6 when it comes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I already have my 6 wide receivers. I don't really want to grab another tight end. I don't think I need to. These guys are going to be available on the waiver wire, in my opinion. Like your Jack Doyles are going to be available.
Yeah.
Jared Cook, if he's still on the board here. But I always like to pick a rookie running back that has some potential. And so here's the thing. I'm not a big handcuff guy of drafting your own handcuff.
Yeah.
But Darrington Evans, they drafted him in the 3rd round. There's a reason why they drafted him in the 3rd round, because they think he can come in. He's going to get more work than Dion Lewis ever did. So I'm going to go Darrington Evans. And then, so after that, it was Antonio Gibson. That was actually who I was down to as well. He's kind of like that wildcat I was telling you about in our most recent episodes. I mean, he's a little bit of both, running back and wide receiver in college. And then Damian Harrison, that was another guy I was thinking about. I didn't want to have another Patriots player that's like sacrilegious for a Colts fan. And then Malcolm Brown after that. So
There's too many guys on that New England
let's
running
pull
back
up.
group. There's too many guys to know what's going to happen there.
You almost need.
He needs running
You don't
backs.
want. Yeah,
he needs running backs, and then he went Dede Westbrook. I mean, he's going. He took 0 running back to mean running 0
maybe
running
I should
back.
text him.
Yeah, 0 running back is what he went with, I guess. Right? He really thinks it's 0 running back. So I think he's got his kicker spot open.
Kicker.
Yeah. All right. So you're watching us on YouTube probably because watching a draft is much better than listening to a draft. I know we ran a little bit long today, but it's that Friday fun day, right? Our Twitter, you can catch us over on Twitter at FFB_upside. Justin, what's your Twitter? It's JW_upside.
Yeah,
JW
_ the upside.
And I'm Kyle @Kyle_the upside. We're active over there. Hit us up with questions if you want. It's on our screen as well. You can see it right down here by our name. And then I think it's right there. It might be over here. I don't know. Everything's reversed. Camera's reversed, right? All right. Over on Facebook, we're at FFB Upside. You can also search for us at The Fantasy Football Upside. You can reach us via email right now. We are at thefantasyfootballupside@gmail.com. We're also on podcasting platforms, so you can download the audio and listen to us while you're out mowing the lawn or sitting on your deck drinking a beer during the middle of summer here, guys.
Or whatever.
Yeah, or you're on a long road trip, hopefully taking a break from wherever you are. You can catch us over on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, directly on Podbean, and we just added iHeartRadio, so we're over there on that one. You can subscribe on any of those. You can follow us on all of those. Give us a rating. Give us 5 stars. Yeah, don't forget to give us 5 stars. Once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Click the bell so you're notified when we upload the best fantasy football podcast on the entire internet. And we thank you again for being a fan of The Upside. And we will see you guys next time. Take it easy.
See you guys.
Bye.